Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravos Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. What a morning. What a day. Yesterday was a great day, and I'm just itching to tell you all about it. I hope everybody's doing great this chilly morning. It is Thursday, January 9th. My friends are visiting from the Pacific Northwest from the United States, and, I was all wrapped in a shawl yesterday because we went out and about, and I'm like, it's cold, and they just kept laughing at me. Anyhow, I hope you're having a great morning today. It's always a pleasure to see you. I have some news to share. I have some important show announcements. I learned so much information yesterday during the spotlight, so we're going to use some of those this newly acquired knowledge of great events that you may want to check out. I'm going to share it with you today. And I went to see and hear Amy Armstrong last night. I see Betsy Ann also was there. I saw you briefly, Betsy Ann. What a crazy place, but it was a great show, and I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm going to cut to the chase. If you haven't heard Amy Armstrong perform live, don't wait. Don't wait. And I'm going to tell you why in a little while. But first, as always, if you have any important questions that you wish to share, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q. And if you are watching live for the first time, how wonderful. Please let us know that you are, and you can do so by adding a capital letter N as in new to your comment. We'll be so very happy to give you a lovely welcome. And to make things even more glorious, our beloved friend Dan Doran is out of intensive care. Yes, what a scare. Things are headed in the right direction. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm just happy that our friend is improving. Let's get started with news. I have a couple of important things. Puerto Vallarta has a new mobile medical care unit that will be available to citizens with a range of services, including medical consultations, dentistry, nutrition services, and a pharmacy. It's still unclear to me, number one, where you'll find it, because it moves around. It's a vehicle. And it's unclear to me what you need to show in order to be able to take advantage of these services. I don't know if they will be available to everyone or just to people that show a Mexican ID. But it's a good thing to have this, and I'll keep you posted in terms of eligibility as soon as more information becomes available. And representatives of Mayor Luis Munguia's government visited the rehabilitation of drinking water lines on Naranjo, Venustiano Carranza, and Camichin streets in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood, for which an investment of 2.7 million pesos is being allocated. The work is still in progress, but there is considerable advances in it. There are considerable advances. The work is important as part of the city's commitments to improve the quality and continuity of service for the benefit of residents and visitors, modernizing infrastructure that has already fulfilled its useful life. So for those of you that have been posting, like I've seen a couple of posts on Facebook of people complaining about the repairs, dudes, just breathe the fresh air and be happy to be here. You could have no running water, and boy, would that piss you off. So it's a good thing that CEPAL is out there doing whatever they can to keep things working that are bound to become unusable after some time. Let us take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what we can expect and look at all that drizzle coming down in the weather application. It says rain stopping in 14 minutes. You can stop loading your loved ones onto that life raft. Well, I don't think it's raining out there this morning, but it was definitely drizzling last night. I noticed when I came home. Um, let's see what the weather forecast has to say. Right now, we are enjoying 22 degrees. Humidity is high at 83%. And our weather forecast tells us that we can expect light rain throughout the day with a chance of rain of 74%. So maybe we have to pack an umbrella, maybe not. A high temperature of 26 and a low temperature is what we're going to have today. Then tomorrow, Friday, we can expect rain in the morning with overcast skies in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 32%, a high of 24, and a low of 19. And then Saturday, we will have mostly cloudy skies through the day, a chance of rain of only 5%. So it's today and tomorrow that we need to worry about precipitation. Our high temperature is expected to be 23, and our low temperature is expected to be around 15 degrees. So there you have it. If you came down looking for sun and sand and warm temperatures, I hope it is warmer than where you came from. That's for sure. Now, moving right along, I have a little public service announcement just in case you happen to be as nutty as I am about going to the movies. There is this animation film called Flow, which is garnering a lot of publicity. It won in the Golden Globes recently, and it's a fully animated feature about a cat that finds itself in a world full of water. Not needless to say, there has to be some climate change message in the film, and his survival is made possible by alliances that this little cat makes with other animals. The reason I bring it up, in case you are interested in this type of film, is because number one, I just checked the well. First of all, it's nominated for the Golden Globes, or rather, it won on the Golden Globes, and it's probably going to be nominated on the Academy Awards. So it's worth watching. And number two, the reason I bring it up is because as I've read about this film, it has no dialogue. And the announcement that Cinepolis has put out there is that the film is in Spanish. So if you enjoy animation and have been discouraged to go see this film because it says that it's in Spanish, rest assured, as far as I understand, there is no dialogue in the movie, and all it has is beautiful music and sound effects. I am glad to see that it was extended another week in the Cinepolis schedule, and I'm hoping to catch it sometime before next Thursday, which is when Cinepolis rotates films here in Puerto Vallarta. And enough of that. I want to tell you about the spotlight. The spotlight was just so awesome. Yesterday, we had three guests scheduled. We had a surprise visit from Carmen Porras, though, who told us that she was able to add a second date to her Flavors of the Western Sierras, which sold out on Friday, the 17th of this month. They opened another date the day before. So if you were thinking you would want to attend this public dinner featuring food from our side of Mexico, there's this new date that you can enjoy. I was expecting Gouda Gabor, but she was a little bit under the weather. Instead, she sent the wonderful Mark Hartman to tell us about Hello Gorgeous, this show that Gouda Gabor, Mark Hartman, and the amazing Seth Sykes are collaborating in. This is going to be a salute to the music of Barbara Streisand that is going to be presented at Nacho Daddy on the 13th and the 20th of this month. This is, if you like good singing, if you like the music of Barbara Streisand, I can tell you this is going to be a spectacular show. I know that I'm going to be there on the 13th, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'll come back to more Mark Hartman announcements in a second. We also heard from Todd Friedman, who, of course, we know because Todd tells us about how to connect to our television channels and whatnot. And he's also producing a show at Nacho Daddy called Love Lockdown with Luis Villanueva. So we got to hear about Todd's new experiences being a musical show producer and artistic director, and it's great to see that Todd is reinventing himself and finding skills that he didn't know he had. I understand that the show has been very successful. I've been through the first half but couldn't stay for whatever reason. But in case you want to catch this, this is going on at Nacho Daddy, but I think it's no longer going on Mondays. I tried to find an updated graphic and was not able to find one. Let's see what else. Back to then of course we also had another guest, Beto Sempere. Beto Sempere, who Sampere. Sempere, Sampere. Oh my God, Beto, please don't hate me. Beto is a dancer choreographer who put together a Charleston dance review, which features live vocals and music that you're familiar with, only performed on the Charleston style. Unfortunately, the show is between venues, so we don't have a lot of specifics, but I asked Beto to please keep us in touch, to please keep us posted on future events. Back to Mark Hartman. Uh, I want to tell you that he is, of course, performing a number of things. We found out that he's doing his solo piano bar thing where he just sits at the piano and has great rapport with the audience, plays requests, sings all kinds of things. But he's doing this amazing cabaret performance with the amazing Natalie Douglas on January 23rd and 27th at Act Two. And this is another one of those shows that is going to be worth every peso. Natalie Douglas is a 13 time MAC award winner. And I don't know, I don't remember what MAC stands for, but this is like the big New York cabaret stage prize for the best cabaret singer. So she is absolutely amazing. And to hear her sing songs from the 70s, I've heard her sing material from the 70s, and she's probably going to blow our minds with a great show. Let's see what else we have. This is out of order. Well, let me just put this out here right now. I'm going to put this out here and just say, save the date. February 18 is going to be the Amapas Neighborhood Association Rock the River fundraising event. This is their second annual event. Last year was very, very successful, and this is happening at La Huerta Bar and Grill in Paso Ancho. I know that we're going to be visited by the Amapas Neighborhood Association in the spotlight, so we'll have a chance to learn more details about this event. But back to Mark. Mark is also doing a gig on Saturdays with Amy Armstrong. Uh, Now, this is not the gig that I saw last night. This last night, I saw the other gig that Amy Armstrong is doing. She's doing this wonderful gig with Eugenia Prieto and Al Ramirez on Wednesdays, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But Amy Armstrong is also partnering with Mark Hartman on Saturdays, both gigs at Nacho Daddy, and on Saturdays you get to hear a different Amy. And again, I'll tell you more about the differences as soon as we get into my stream of consciousness from last night's performance. And of course, for the next Spotlight, which will be a week from yesterday. We're going to have Mari Torres de Gonzalez talk about acupuncture and biomagnetism. And I have gone to her for acupuncture, and she is absolutely amazing. And Neil Gerlosky is going to talk about a new hike project that he has called Flavors of the Forest Foraging Hike and Feast, which should be very exciting to hear. And of course, as I usually do, I talked about all kinds of wonderful things in the spotlight and forgot to toot my own horn about my opera presentation, which is this afternoon. And I hope you're around to hear more about opera. Why does it matter? Why you should go, and how to be prepared, how to prepare yourself to get the most out of an opera performance. And now I want to tell you about Amy. Oh my gosh. This is going to be totally, because it just happened last night. I haven't even had a time to think about this, but Amy is doing an amazing show uh, on Wednesdays in which she salutes the 70s. No, the 80s. What am I talking about? It's Natalie Douglas that's going to do the 70s. Amy Armstrong is doing a great show about music from the 80s. Now, even before we get into her performances, and just for the record, the rest of the program is going to be an Amy Armstrong fest. If you want to get on with your day, by all means, feel free to go. But if you want to find out about why you should go enjoy Amy Armstrong live, just stick around. Music from the 80s. If you enjoyed music from the 80s, pop music from the 80s, and some rock from the 80s, you know that it was very synthy. There were a lot of synthesizers, there were a lot of drum machines, so it was music with a lot of beat. Amy is doing this gig. She's revisiting songs from the 80s with Al Ramirez, who is an amazing acoustic guitar player, and Eugenia Prieto, who's an amazing violin player. So, how do you convert pop synth driven hits from the 80s into what is clearly going to be an acoustic gig performed by the amazing Amy Armstrong, which has a voice this big? And how do you keep your audience right there at the tip of your fingers for 90 minutes on a show where all you have is one guitar player and one violin player, no costume changes, no nothing? Well, it's easy as pie if you are Amy Armstrong, Eugenia Prieto, and Al Ramirez. First of all, I have to applaud that Amy makes lemonade because there are lemons. Amy and Jordan Carnegie, for example, came to Mexico and they're like, we're going to make music and we're going to work with whatever is at our disposal. Do I actually think that Amy envisioned having a gig with a violin player and a guitar player? No, but they connected, and the music that they put together is amazing. Now, what's the difference between Amy Armstrong and so many tributes out there? Well, I'd like to imagine, and I could be wrong because I don't like to go to tribute shows, is that the tribute stars are trying as best as possible to sound as much as possible as the original artists. Amy takes her musicianship to a different level. She will take songs like Take On Me and give them a flavor that you never expected. And Take On Me by Aha is only one of two songs that I'm going to spoil today. I don't want to tell you what the material is because you want to be surprised. You want to hear these songs through a different lens, through a different perspective, through a different interpretation. And that's what Amy does on stage. Now, if you're paying attention, there are two very clear dynamics going on stage between Amy and Eugenia and Al. For starters, Amy has always been and will always be a grand dame, and deservingly so. This is Amy Armstrong's show featuring two great musicians. She's in control. She will compel you with her singing, and between songs, she will intimate with beautiful stories about her life from growing up big and tall since she was a teenager to her audacious adventures entertaining a bunch of gay men in gay cruises. And some of the stories are not for the faint hearted, uh, to just musings about life and love and the search of love and thriving and surviving. And I have to tell you, I have heard I have heard some of these stories before, but there's something about Amy's genuine skill set as a storyteller. They always sound new and different. And for that matter, I had heard some of the songs that Amy performed before. But you know what? Every time it's different and every time it's better. Now, so back to the two dynamics that are going on. Yes, Amy is the grande dame, it's her show, but at another level, which is absolutely beautiful to watch, she has such brotherhood, sisterhood, musical kinship with these musicians. It is amazing to watch them all bounce off each other great musical ideas through the whole show. And it's clear to me that even though Amy has the experience of 10 singers put together, she's still learning. And she has a lot to learn and she has a lot to teach. And the same thing happens with the other musicians. They are just absolutely amazing. So even if I try to excuse myself by saying, oh, well, I've seen Amy before, no, you have never seen Amy before because Amy Armstrong is always different every single time. I did notice something new this time around that totally endeared me. There's a certain hint of vulnerability in Amy's voice, not while she's singing. Interestingly, not while she's singing. Oh my gosh, she is still this glorious, amazing voice that can be as loud as it gets and can be as intimate as she has to be to make her points. But there's a certain vulnerability in her storytelling. You know, if you know Amy, she's very transparent. Life has been quite challenging for Amy Armstrong in the last few years. So I did notice this beautiful tenderness and vulnerability in her voice that she quickly puts to good use as soon as she starts singing. Of course, before I tell you the second spoiler that I have for this performance, the show that she does with Mark Hartman is completely different because for the show that she does with Mark Hartman, it's the Amy that we've known for years. It's the filthy, funny, dirty Amy Armstrong who's having a great rapport with an amazing, uber talented accompanist. So this is a completely different show. I'm also going to go catch it at some point, but not now. Not now. I want to stay with the Amy that I listened to last night. You know, after an hour and a half of amazing music transformation, after an hour and a half of laughing and feeling the feels after hearing Amy's stories, if this was planned as the way it goes on every show, I'm going to spoil the last song. I'm sorry, I have to. And if this was just a beautiful coincidence, my God, what a beautiful coincidence it was. What am I talking about? Amy ended her set with the most gorgeous version of U2's uh, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And the reason it totally moved me is because it is such a tribute to the fact that you have this amazing performer who's been around the block more times than I can remember, and she's still reinventing herself musically. She has not found what she's looking for. And that's the way the pursuit of art is or should be. I feel for those performers that stick around and always do the same thing over and over again. When I heard Amy and her band close the show with I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, I thought to myself, this was a well crafted set and it made everything worth going to. Amy's shows are not inexpensive. Going to live shows in Puerto Vallarta is not inexpensive, but here is one performance where you get so much more than what you pay to enjoy it. And that's all I have to say about that. Let's see what you have to say this morning if I can find my promotion for the spotlight. Here it is. Boom. And I have to say one more thing. It feels so freaking good to wake up the next morning and find yourself so nurtured by a musical experience from the night before. I just love it. Once again, I couldn't fall asleep till like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess it's part of my aging. I get so wired up and so like full of good energy from these performances that it's like I cannot go to sleep. But enough about me. Let's see what you guys are up to. Lots of good mornings, which is great. My thoughts are with anyone that has any affiliation with Los Angeles or that general area. Things are looking, oh my goodness. My goodness. Albert, I am thinking about you without a doubt, and I look forward to seeing you tonight for the opera presentation. La 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 la. Betsy says, had a wonderful evening with Amy Armstrong and Nacho Daddy and looking forward to the Paco's presentation online tonight. Did I forget to say that last night was sold out for Amy Armstrong? It's a good thing that she's going to be around for the whole season, and it's a good thing that Mark has quite a few gigs with her because that gives us a chance to get a good seat. I was grateful to Nacho Daddy that because they found me a seat. I actually had not purchased a seat in advance. So I was grateful that I was snuck in a little corner, and it was just a great show. Let's see. Many comments about many comments about California fires. Gura, I hope you're feeling better. I missed you last night. And, oh my God, what? I just have the feels, and I can't wait to go to the Barbara Streisand celebration. Oh my goodness. So good. So happy to hear that Den is feeling better. Yes, I think the worst is over, and I think that's a very, very good thing. Boom, 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 boom. Da, 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 da. I love cats and look forward to seeing Flo. Thanks for the info. My pleasure, Barbara. Again, I'm really curious about the film, and I love animation. So I wanted to make that clarification for everyone. Let's see what else. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. My goodness, there's a lot going on around town. I should get out more. I hear you, Logan. There's just a lot of things going on. Her version of Take on Me had the crowd mesmerized. Absolutely. There was music by Tina Turner. There were great songs. Just great songs. This is a great description. Amy truly is everyone's big sis that they never had but always dreamed of. Fiercely loyal, sublimely intuitive, wickedly funny. We are so blessed to have her in our own family. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. It is so easy to take local performers for granted because they're here for extended periods of time. It is so easy to think, oh my God, I've seen him or her before and they're probably going to sing the same thing. Well, some of them sing the same thing, but I'm happy to know that more and more are raising up the ante by reinventing themselves every season. And Amy does not uh, fail to disappoint in any way. A nice report. A nice report I see here from Tony Sanchez. Great show as always. Dinner at Pizza Joe's. Excellent servicio and the food was great. Best pizzas in my opinion, and the dining music was great. The dessert was a great finish to a wonderful dinner. Staff deserved my 30% tip. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is absolutely wonderful. Has it been chilly at night? Absolutely. It's been like I've been under the covers. I've been wearing my blankies. Luna has actually spent much time with me under the blanket. She usually doesn't go down there, but she is there. And I think we are at the end of today. I am sorry to just like blah about Amy, but she is so deserving of our attention. If you want to be treated to a textbook learning experience of what a great live show is or should be, intimate, acoustic, heartfelt, yeah, just go see Amy at some point. As always, thank you very much for sharing some minutes with me this morning. Best wishes for those of you that have family in California, and best wishes for everyone, particularly those of you that are here just for a few days and we're hoping for warmer weather. It is what it is. Enjoy it, make the best of it, and maybe I'll see you this afternoon for my introduction to opera presentation. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day.